Heyo, this is spoiler warning Matt right at the beginning of this podcast because we spoil a shit ton of stuff this episode. Get ready for spoilers for the following: Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the Batman Arkham series, and Kingdom Hearts, maybe? Still not sure about that one, but anyway, enjoy the episode. Welcome back, everyone, to the JadedDragon podcast, episode 4. Me, Matt, host of the JadedDragon YouTube channel and this podcast. With me, I have Ben, also known as SimmosFace, from the channel, and Nathan, also known as Soralayton, also from the channel. This week, we're talking about Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It was directed by Edgar Wright, and is the best video game movie, in my opinion.
Well,
it follows.
Not really a video game movie.
It had
it's not based on a video game.
It was based off a manga.
It did have a video game.
It's
not based off a manga. It's based off a graphic novel.
A video game movie.
Also, it says here that it's 69% on Metacritic. That shouldn't be right.
Well, I mean, Metacritic doesn't know how to rate movies, so they
But
can only
none of
do
these, like,
video
Metacritic
games.
doesn't rate movies. That's not how that works.
I mean, it does. I'm sorry, it doesn't aggregate movie scores very well. So, like, a movie that has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes has, like, a 70 on Metacritic.
Yeah, you just have to take that into account. Yeah, whatever.
I think it's based on, like, pure score versus whether a critic liked it or not. That, I think a critic liking a movie relates to the tomato score.
But then Rotten Tomatoes is also unreliable in that sense.
Well,
because it's like yes or no, and then they take a percentage from that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they got Pokemon the first movie wrong, but then they also got Suicide Squad right. So, I don't know. I mean, I think Suicide Squad has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe.
Oscar-winning movie.
I don't know. Oscar-winning movie, though.
So, I mean, they got it wrong then, clearly, because the Academy is the final judge.
Have the Oscars happened yet? When do they happen?
Pretty soon. But who's going to be watching those?
Because I don't care at all anymore.
24th of Feb. It's in 4 days.
All I care about is Best Animated at this point. And even then, if they get it wrong, which is obvious what the right answer is, but if they get it wrong, it's just like, oh, I no longer care at all.
Yeah.
What else is in for Best Animated?
Incredibles 2.
Isle of Dogs.
A foreign animated movie.
Yeah. Is that it?
I feel like I can't judge that one because I haven't seen it, but I don't know.
And randomly Vice.
Yes, they also...
And Vice.
They thought that the makeup was so good on Christian Bale that they thought it was animated.
It was CG the whole time.
God. I still haven't watched episode 2, so I haven't really seen what you guys
Look,
think yet.
Cliff Notes,
Whatever.
we didn't think it was great, which is...
Well, I know Ben's opinion. I watched it with him.
Yeah, and then we had a really long chat sitting down at KFC.
Yeah.
I didn't have KFC, I had donuts.
From Woolworths?
Did I have KFC?
No, from Donut King or whatever it is, because Nick Jones recommended that. He was like, hey, look, it's like
There's a
$5
Donut
for
King?
a box of donuts. I was like, that's pretty good.
This is
Yeah, down
Chatswood?
at Chase.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. I was thinking about the one at Warringah Mall, and I was just like, what the frick? Because that's the only Donut King I could, like, actually
No, we weren't at
recall.
Comprehend.
Is that still there? Well, that doesn't
Anyway. Yeah. Let's get back to, Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, so it's directed by Edgar Wright, and it follows Michael Cera's character, Scott, as he tries to go out with Ramona, played by
Mary Elizabeth Winstead,
and has to fight her 7 evil exes throughout the course of the movie. And that's the setup. And yeah, it's a very entertaining movie.
So we're talking about the movie then. I actually wasn't entirely certain when we were going to be talking about the movie or the graphic novels.
I mean, I haven't
I haven't
finished
really
the graphic.
seen the graphic novel.
Well, that's slightly disappointing.
I've read the first 2 volumes, and I've got the 3rd volume, so I'm getting there.
They really complete the experience. I think one thing to say
the
before
Scott Pilgrim experience.
discussing the movie is that the graphic novels are definitely part of it. Like it's an alternate take, definitely, but I think it's really interesting that the beginning of the movie is almost exactly the same as the beginning of the novels, and then it just sort of diverts more as it progresses. There's a lot of stuff left out.
There's a point where you can't put some stuff in the movie because it'd be way too long.
Yeah, it's like 7 books. You don't put that into one movie. Yeah. But it is interestingly faithful in some ways.
Just a side note, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing Huntress in the Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. Post Scott Pilgrim roles. Interesting.
Fargo. That was a big one that she did
Fargo?
recently. She's in
Fargo.
season 3.
Okay.
But her biggest role, Sky High.
So,
Sky High.
Who is she in Sky High?
It's Jeff Bridges' biggest role as well.
You mean Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell. Yep, same person.
Who was she?
Who were they in Sky High? Kurt Russell was the dad, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead was the bad guy. Spoilers,
she was the bad
if
guy?
you haven't seen
Okay.
Sky High, sorry.
She was in
Yeah, she
Ten
was in that
Club.
as well.
She was the main protagonist in... That was a great movie.
That's good to hear, because I haven't actually seen that one.
So, I remember, based off, like, me watching it, I never really thought that the first Evil X and then the twins, I didn't think they were very good, like, villains. Or
They weren't very good boyfriends.
or whatever. I thought they were pretty
No
weak.
wonder she dumped them.
I mean, they weren't. No, well, I mean, to be honest, the first X was from,
Matthew Patel.
kindergarten, whatever. They fought bullies together.
Pilgrim. Pirates are in this year. Yeah, I'm not just going to repeat lines from the movie. He's a great character. But...
Yeah. Yeah, and the twins
think,
were sort of like a fine, like just something they had to get over quickly so that they had
They
7
had a
evil
whole
X's. Just cram
book
2
to
into
Well,
one
yeah.
scene. I mean, each X has their own book in the graphic novel series, so...
I would assume 7 is just sort of throughout them, right?
It's actually Evil Scott.
Nega Scott is... In
That's
the book,
the entire
Nega Scott
last
is an
book.
actual fight. Sort of. He's not like another version of himself. It's interesting that the movie treats Nega Scott... I mean, obviously it's kind of like a joke, but it is interesting that it kind of ends up being a little bit like Celeste, how it's an alternate personality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this other
Rather
part.
than just...
It's like the beginning. It's the beginning of Celeste and the
Yeah.
end of Celeste in like 5 minutes. It's like spoilers for Celeste, but Scott just sort of like, we have a lot in common. I really like that guy. We're getting coffee.
Yeah.
So good.
Although that whole segment in the book is very good for a lot of reasons. Mostly
they have,
because
like,
Scott
a-
references The Tribe, the New Zealand TV show, which is my favourite. And that's my favourite joke in the entire series, because I don't understand who it's trying to appeal to with Scott referencing The Tribe, because I feel like nobody has ever seen that show other than me. It's like on ABC3. But you know, it's well worth it. It landed with me.
So, why were there 2 endings? I never understood that. What was the purpose of that?
So, one of them was... I can't even remember how it ends in the book. Which ending they took.
Well, one is that he goes off with
I think the
knives,
ending in
and
the
then-
book is the alternate
Yeah.
ending. So the one where he goes off with knives. I think it was because they wanted to make it more like that, but then they decided with the story that was told, a more satisfying ending was for Scott to end up with Ramona.
That shot of knives in the hair products section with just the walls of the same color dye. It's fantastic. That's a great shot.
Yeah, the entire film is like just like
That's
great
Edgar
shot
Wright.
after great shot.
Yeah.
It's a lot like the Edgar Wright film, so Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz in sort of how it's filmed. And so obviously, sort of how it's written as well. There's some very funny dialogue.
Well, they got... So, Brian Lee O'Malley has a writing credit. Oh, wait. Is that just because he wrote
I imagine
the
he was...
graphic
I actually think I'm pretty sure he was consulted, at least in the screenplay.
Right. Okay. It's always good when they consult the actual like author about their own property.
I think it's the reason
It's
for the
always good.
strength of A Series of Unfortunate Events, the Netflix series, is that it pays attention to the mystery of the books and even answers some questions and raises some more.
I feel like no Edgar Wright movie should have a
Baby
sequel.
Driver 2.
Just because they all end like... Yeah, they are making a Baby Driver 2.
I don't know if I could definitively say that no Edgar Wright movie should have a sequel. I mean, if he's confident he could make one.
I mean, like, it'd be interesting to have...
He hasn't
sequels,
tried it yet, as far as I can think.
But the way that he ends the majority of his movies is either sort of thought-provoking enough or satisfying enough that they don't really warrant one, unless you want to see more of the characters in his worlds.
See, yeah, I just imagine that, like... Because I can't imagine that any way that they do, say, Baby Driver 2, like... It's just going to be weird how, like, they pull him into a life of crime again.
Or it's entirely possible
or
that
whatever they're going to do for
not
it.
going to be about him being a criminal.
Oh.
It's just him delivering pizza.
Yeah, have you seen
Pizza
that scene? Like,
Pizza
how
time.
does Mr. Aziz expect Peter Parker to get across the city in less than 5 minutes? Like, he does it as Spider-Man. I understand that he has to stop to save the kids, but even swinging around as Spider-Man, he's going to be way faster than he is on that scooter, and he's still late. So, like, what did you expect?
Look, when it's pizza
late.
time, it's pizza time.
I'm not paying for those.
Parker, you're
Fired.
late.
Go!
Oh no, I flipped the pizza.
That's such a good game.
I flipped me.
That's the best video game movie. Does that count?
What, that YouTube series?
Spider-Man 2, because it's based on the video game Spider-Man 2 the game.
Right, yeah, the game came out before the movie.
So did you guys end up playing the video game of Scott Pilgrim or no?
I didn't. It was out of copyright or whatever, so they took it off the store.
Oh, did they take it off the store? Okay.
Yeah.
No, you
if
should
I
still have it
own
if you own
it,
it. I own it.
would I
so-
still be able to...
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's
yeah,
kind of like
'cause
with Marvel vs.
it's on my
Capcom,
PlayStation account.
how like it was temporarily... Yeah, it's back, but it was like temporarily unavailable because
THQ.
Capcom lost
Because
Marvel licenses.
I think so.
Oh, THQ
because
shut
the
down.
Deadpool game was THQ rather than Capcom, and that went down at the same time.
But THQ Nordic still exists.
I think they were bought out, right? Because THQ Nordic's the ones who are... Do they own Volition? Saints Row?
Just googling. They... It doesn't say who they're owned by, but they made all the Dark Side games.
Okay. I don't remember everything how it works, but I know that Volition's still a company.
Yeah.
But I thought they were owned by THQ Nordic, but I'm not entirely certain.
They were acquired by Joe Wood Entertainment. Yes. So good. So they made a game called what was it? It was like Taser or something. It was like a dumb sci-fi game that Funhouse played.
Oh.
It was amazing. It was and they were convinced that Joe Wood was just some homeless man who tried to convince TH Nordic to make a game for him.
It was.
I got a great idea of a video game.
I don't know who made the Scott Pilgrim game, though.
Yes.
But yeah,
I know Anna Managuchi made the soundtrack.
that's true. That is a very good soundtrack.
That's very cool. It's a great soundtrack.
The soundtrack to the movie is very good as well.
Yeah, it's
Beck
got
wrote the songs for Sex Bomb. So
really. Okay, that's pretty cool.
It was Ubisoft.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that
maybe they
makes
just lost the
sense.
licensing for it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So Michael Cera is in a band in real life, and he can play the bass really well. But for the movie, he had to pretend to be a really bad bass guitarist, so he just played shittily the whole time they were filming.
Guys, I learned the bass line from Final Fantasy V. I don't actually remember if it's 5. I just remember the bass line from Final Fantasy. That's when they're like sitting him down to have a serious talk about his situation with his dual girlfriends, and he's just fucking playing the Final Fantasy bass line. That's a good scene as well. I appreciate that.
All the transitions are so good in that movie.
My favorite transition is the one where Steven Stills is shouting at Scott, and he's just sort of like not paying much attention, and then he sort of gets him really close to his head and shouts at him, and then suddenly he's like snaps back to reality, and they're at the show. They're like backstage.
Yeah, that's a
Steven Stills is a great character generally.
because Scott's freaking out, right?
Yeah. Oh no, Steven Stills is freaking out.
Right.
Why are you just standing there staring? It's freaking me out.
Remember one of my favorite lines is when he's reading the email from the First X, and he's just like blah 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 fight blah 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 7 evil X's blah blah delete.
This is boring. Delete. Yeah,
I think my favorite part of the movie is like the vegan police, where it's like, don't I get 3 infractions? It's like, first infraction, you ate gelatin. And it's like, gelatin isn't vegan. It's like, second infraction.
It was great chicken palm.
Chicken isn't vegan.
My favorite thing about the vegan police scene is that Todd and Scott are wearing the Punisher shirts. Todd's wearing the normal one and Scott's wearing the 8-bit one. And then Thomas Jane, who played the Punisher, is one of the vegan police. It's like one of those little like casting details that is, I don't know, ridiculously dedicated for some reason.
It's something that only Edgar Wright would do. There's so many little details that that make his movies so fantastic.
Thomas Jane was a good Punisher. So was John Bernthal, but that time is
who was
over
in
now.
Baby Driver.
Yeah, he was in Baby Driver.
If you don't see me again, I'm dead.
That is what he says. I feel like a big problem with talking about Scott Pilgrim is that a lot of discussion of this movie, just at least for me, tends to be reciting quotes and talking about scenes that I really liked, rather than any actual discussion of it, because it's just such a fun movie for so many reasons that you just think of it. You can very well put yourself back or bring yourself back to watching it, because it's so easy to visualize again. Especially because of how visually impressive it is, on top of the writing, the memorable lines, but also the visually impressive style, both with the camera work and the design. Costume design is really great in that. There's so much about the movie is so strong that it just means that it's a bit difficult to discuss because you just kind of gush about it.
See, I also find it interesting, because I didn't know until like I watched it like maybe the 4th time, because I don't know many actors by face or name. I didn't realize that X number 2 was
Chris Evans,
Captain America.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that might. It's hard to say it's like my favorite scene because there's so many great scenes, but when he walks out of his trailer to the Universal music, and Scott's just sort of standing there with this crowd of tourists getting a set tour.
He's famous.
Scott Pilgrim, I am Ramona's ex. Time to fight. It's like, okay.
Okay then.
Yeah. And he challenges him to a skate off. And he's just like, grind that rail.
He says, can you do a grindy thingy? Because Scott doesn't know anything about skateboarding. And so he's like, can you do a thingy on that rail over there? It's called a grind.
Why should I?
Can you do a grindy thingy?
There are girls watching.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm just talking about the lines from the movie.
Yeah, it's...
Oh.
There's just something on IMDb here, which is just... Which male-female fight scene was most impressive? Thanks, IMDb.
The one where Scott and Ramona fight Roxy. Roxy's probably my favorite of all of them because she just has some of the best lines. Scott, she says something and then Scott says, "Oh, that's funny. Where did that come from?" And she's like, "My brain." Just needlessly
Lazy
aggressive.
ass.
It's kind of like
You lazy ass.
Lux scene.
Yeah. You know, Matt, she's played by Mae Whitman, who's Anne in Arrested Development.
Really?
And
well, yeah.
For someone that...
I thought you were saying Luxine was played by the person who played Anne in the rest of
someone that Nathan is more familiar with. Yes, she plays Katara in Avatar and Yuffie in Kingdom Hearts as well.
Wow.
I thought it was Yuffie, but I wasn't sure if it was Tifa.
Which one's... Oh, right.
So
Yuffie from Final Fantasy 9.
7.
Wait, Yuffie. Is Yuffie the...
7?
She's the ninja.
Yuffie's not in 7. She's that ninja,
Mhm.
but I thought she was in Final Fantasy 9.
I'm pretty confident she's in 7.
God, she looks terrible in 7. Oh,
7?
no.
Come on, man. 7's a really old game at this point. They're making a remake of it.
Oh, no.
People were pretty attracted to that, I'll tell you what. Tifa?
Look, don't... Tell me
Okay,
about
so
your
Yuffie was
fucking-
in 7, and then she had a side quest in 9. Okay.
Is that a version of her in 9?
I'm just gonna...
Okay, I haven't played 9 yet. It's on
I'm just
the
gonna-
Xbox store right now, and Switch and Windows. So I'm gonna get it.
Yes.
God. I've got 2 photos here. One of her in Kingdom Hearts 1 and one of her in Kingdom Hearts 2. Both of them are T-posing. And I'm like, what the fuck am I looking
She's a
at?
ninja asserting dominance. Oh my god, she plays ninjas a lot, doesn't she?
Yeah.
You know.
Also, Brie Larson plays Envy Adams.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
There's a...
And the great shot where there's like a cardboard cutout of her in the background, and she's like, it cuts to her actually behind Scott. So good.
Puts the beanie on. Oh man, it's so...
You've got scruffy hair, Scott.
It's so annoying that we can't, like... There's no good way to discuss this analytically, because it is a very deep... Both the movie and the books. I think if you guys read the books, it'd be easier to have a analytical discussion, because it's a lot easier to go in depth when there's a lot more of it. I feel like the movie has that there, but the books introduce you to it in such a greater sense. Like, the reason why it's all so surreal, you kind of get a sense that it's just a construction, you know, like Scott's just sort of imagining this, the fact that he needs to fight all of them. It's him sort of proving himself because he's such an insecure person or an immature person. And it's like, that really comes through in the books, and you can definitely see it there in the movies once you know you're thinking about it, but beforehand it's not as obvious because the movie is a lot shorter and a lot more subtle, I think, about it, because obviously it has to be.
Yeah, and like, I mean, like, did the various characters react to the video game shit going on? Like, so it kind of makes it seem like,
Yeah,
it's not just Scott having a weird fantasy about him overcoming his fears. I don't know.
Stacy, when Matthew Patel like just breaks through the roof and Stacy's like, "What? What is happening?"
There's a quote here. It's young Neil, and it's just, he punched the highlights out of her hair.
He punched the highlights out of her hair. What? I'm not afraid of it, girl. That guy played Superman.
When I'm around you, I kind of feel like I'm on drugs. Not like I do drugs, unless you do drugs. In which case I do all the time. All of them.
It's a very well-cast role for Michael Cera.
Mm. I mean, that's how it is for most of his roles. It's just very much just... Like, is he like that in real life?
I've never met him.
Yeah, but based on like interviews or whatever. I don't know.
He kind
Have
of
you guys
comes
seen
off as he doesn't want to become like a movie star necessarily. So
any?
I guess he just typecasts himself so he doesn't have to be in a lot of movies.
Huh.
I don't know.
So, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking that another thing that we could discuss is the Arkham games, because all three of us have played that.
Mm-hmm. Go
Yes.
ahead, Matt. Do you have something to say? It was just kind of a silence there for a bit.
Yeah, you both stopped, and I was like, "No, do we not?"
Arkham games.
Have you played all four? Or?
I haven't played all four.
Which ones
I've
have
only
you played?
Are we counting Origins?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
sorry,
that
that's
would be the fourth.
Yep.
Or well, the third, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's the third one. Yeah,
Or first,
I've played.
speaking chronologically.
I played all of City and Night, and most of Origins.
But not Asylum.
Not Asylum, no.
Okay.
But I
So
played.
that's a weird way to do it, but okay.
Well, Asylum, I guess, is
I mean, it
in
doesn't
theory, more
affect
difficult to
like
get your
its
hands on.
story-wise.
Because
Yeah.
if you, I mean, we're young guys. We're a couple of strapping young lads. I say a couple because I don't include Nathan. We would have been fairly young when Asylum came out. I don't know. I don't remember when it was. I mean, obviously, wouldn't be too young to have played it because I did play it, but I wouldn't say that it's ridiculous that no one's ever played Asylum from our age group, just because it may have been just below or come out just too early for us or something.
Yeah,
I think it came out, let's see,
2007?
2009.
Yeah, so
Ah.
that's not too. No.
Nah, well, like, I played
Well, it was a bit-
and then got City. So I have played Asylum before. I just haven't played the main story. But I think I know the main story beats. It's like Joker takes this sort of...
Joker dicks with you for an entire night.
Yeah,
The
well,
game.
well, that's
pretty
the
much it.
entire series.
Killer
Yeah,
Croc
Scarecrow's there.
Poison Ivy's there.
Um,
Catwoman isn't there.
Joker turns into the like Mr. Jekyll monster from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, but not Mr. Jekyll, the other guy, the other one who goes
Yeah,
like,
the red
"Oh,
one.
I'm like you but stronger," and then he
Yeah.
bulks up on steroids.
Is it Carl Urban?
Is it Carl Urban? I don't think so. That seems unlikely.
I don't think it's Carl. It's not Carl Urban. Surely not.
No. I think it's just some random guy
These are
because I don't think he's an actual
these
character.
are my guns.
He just shows up.
Kick ass.
That one's a good
Or
movie. As well.
badass.
I think it's Des and Troy.
Des and Troy.
From Texas.
Ooh, Leave Destroy Gentleman has a 30 on Metacritic.
That's a bit high.
What would the guy be called? I don't know.
I just think he's some random guy who just drugs up. I don't think.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Carl. No,
We can confirm it's not Carl Urban.
he's not Carl Urban. Not Carl Urban. It's all good.
That's
Crisis
very
averted.
good. Good to hear.
Yes. Yeah.
Dodged a bullet on that one, Carl.
I'm glad Carl Urban is not Nicolas Cage and just accepts every role he's offered. Assuming he was offered a role in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That being said, I am glad that Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage and accepts every role he's offered.
Yeah. Speaking of Nicolas Cage, there's that episode of Community where Abed tries to work out if Nicolas Cage is a good or bad actor.
And he just emulates him.
And he's like, I just can't figure it out.
I haven't seen that. I've seen the clip.
Wait,
of it.
Abed.
I feel like that must have been after
Yeah.
season 4, right?
Yeah, it was season 5. I think it was the start or something. Because he's asking people, he's like, so is he good or bad? And he's like, I don't know. It just stays
I think
whatever.
after Spider-Verse,
He's
He's
in
like,
we
but
can definitively confirm that he's good.
Yeah. Like, the number of good movies and the number of bad movies. Good movies outweighs bad movies.
It's all moot.
Especially in, like,
after
the last
Spider-Verse, though.
3 years.
Nicolas Cage is the question, please.
Yes. He's still looking through the multiverse to defeat Darkseid.
Memes with plot.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage had a strong year last year. He did Mandy and Spider-Verse.
yeah, I heard that was good, which is weird. It looked okay.
I'm
but
too terrified to watch it.
I never had a chance to watch it. I would have.
Danny will eventually make me.
But yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
fight with chainsaws. That's
It sounds pretty Evil Dead to me.
Yeah, I think it's it's very unique to the director's vision, but there's some inspiration there for sure.
Mm.
Speaking of Evil Dead, Army of Darkness is like 30 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the anniversary today.
Yeah, I think it is.
Maybe.
30th anniversary. I had heard that. That's pretty exciting. I like that movie.
It came out in 1992.
Which ending do you prefer?
There's different endings to Army of Darkness. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen
Oh.
it, so...
The international version is so jarring, though. It's like in a video game where you get the bad ending or something, and it's just like really abrupt and blatantly the bad one, as opposed to the American ending. The American theatrical ending is like the good ending where things turn out right, and then the other one is just like, and the movie ends. Oh, it's so good.
Have you guys? 17 years ago, it was like today. It was the ice skater from Australia,
Stephen
that,
Bradbury.
won because everybody else tripped. Is that his name? Yeah. So that was all over Facebook.
A guy at my work has it as his wallpaper, showing that even if you're not quite as good as everyone else, they'll all fall over and you'll win in the end.
Oh man.
He's so good. It reminds me of fuck. The soccer video.
Oh, Scott Sterling.
It's Scott Summers.
Sterling.
He's back. Scott. Right.
Come on, Matt.
Wrong one.
How could you forget a
Wrong
legend?
Scott.
Scott Summers is a legend, though, of course.
Yeah, he is. Get off my lawn.
I think he might have bipolar or something now, because he's like, they're going back and forth between pleasing the editorials by going like, Captain America's pretty cool and stuff, and I regret what I did, and then him also going, fuck you, Captain America, you piece of shit, why don't you help anybody other than white people, dick?
I mean, Hail Hydra.
That's not true. The Captain America helps black people a whole lot. Remember when he was like, hey Falcon, I like you a whole lot, you can be Captain America if you want. That's pretty cool. Captain America's a cool guy sometimes, but Scott Summers is a lot better.
Yeah, but he fought Black Panther.
It's true in the that Black Panther
in
series,
Illuminati.
In the Illuminati, he did do that, but I guess he was fighting all the Illuminati, so it wasn't just like, I'm fighting the Illuminati because you're a secret organization with a black guy on the team. It wasn't just like a race thing, you know. It was kind of like, I don't want you to commit universal genocide, you know.
Fuck.
He was kind of like, I think he had the moral high ground on that one.
Fuck your diversity.
For a bit at least. Until he didn't. Until he got old and bitter and stupid.
Is there an old man Cap?
Yeah, but it wasn't like,
Old.
it wasn't like an alternate universe thing. It was like he was just old for a period of time.
I'll cut this out in post.
Why would I need that?
Well, let's move on.
So, from favorite to least favorite, what were your favorite Arkhams?
Oh yeah, Arkham.
Go back to that. What about? I think I don't know. There's certain like my two favorites are Night and City, and there are certain bits from City I like and certain bits from Night I like. Like the tank combat in City, in Night is really cool. As a really well implemented aspect. But like some of the boss battles in City are freaking amazing. Specifically the Mr. Freeze boss battle. That is some game ingenuity genius. So it's a bit of a toss up. Do you guys have favorites?
Yeah, City's definitely my favorite. I think it has some very great moments, like the ending of City. Is it cool if we just sort of spoil that?
Yep, so some spoilers for Arkham City and all of them.
Just
Should
the
we just
Arkham
say
games,
all the Arkham games? Yeah. General Arkham spoilers in this general vicinity.
So, I think,
Riddle me piss.
Riddle me bitch.
Okay.
Riddle me bitch. I am Edward Nigma.
Batman!
Batman!
I think when Joker dies at the end is, like, very well done.
Remember when
I
he's
think
Clayface?
all the things leading up to it. I got you with the fake Joker gag.
That was a really interestingly set up plot twist.
Yeah. When he carries him out into the rain, it's a very well shot scene. Like, it's just... It manages to encapsulate the whole Batman identity in a single shot, which is very hard to do. And I'm very surprised they managed to pull it off in a video game. So it's a very good shot.
Plus, Batman got in a good joke at the end. So, there was that.
What was the joke?
It wasn't really a joke. He just said something that they
Yeah.
both thought was funny, although I don't think Batman really thought it was funny. He just said, "You know what's funny?" It was that he would have cured him anyway. And then Joker's like, "That actually is pretty funny."
That is
Haha,
funny.
and dies.
Is it like killing joke style? Where it's just like...
No, because Batman
it's
doesn't
a better
straight up
joke.
murder the Joker in this one.
Dear. What a
Oh, God.
interesting...
Yeah.
Not even interesting.
I think also
comic.
the plot line with Talia is very well done as well. And I wasn't expecting them to be able to continue on the story from there, but Knight does a really good job. And I think the ending to that is very well done as well.
I think Knight had the best story, in my opinion.
I
But
agree.
I
I think
I include the side stuff in that because it does tie up Bruce's story with Selena, Dick, Tim, everyone in the side stories as well. Really nice.
You mean the
Oh, does
DLC stuff?
No,
Or,
well, I mean the DLC is
like
part
in
of it,
side quests.
but I meant side quests. But also the DLC does
But
a good
that-
job. Like
that-
the added most wanted
That
missions.
Nightwing DLC.
The end of Mr. Freeze's story is really nice. I think that's a really good way to end the series generally. I liked that both times that I 100%ed the games, as I did it on New Game Plus as well. I finished my game with that mission just because I think it hits really well. It's a really definitive end.
Yeah.
I think it's so nice to have.
I think finishing off the Penguin stuff with Nightwing, that was really good side mission. I didn't think the Azrael thing was that good. I thought...
They definitely were setting up for a Nightfall style plot, but I guess in the end they decided to go with to make the main point of the series about the relationship between Joker and Batman, so they didn't really want to just interject and say, now Bane is the main antagonist, and have a whole big thing with Bane, which,
And Azrael.
Yeah, they couldn't bring in Azrael without a big thing like Bane breaking Batman's back, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Also,
Yeah.
the villains they had for Arkham Knight, the side mission villains they had for Arkham Knight were way better than the ones in City, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Deadshot was
Like,
shit.
I didn't really like
Fucking useless.
Hush. Deadshot
Take him down immediately.
sucks. Mad Hatter kind of sucked.
I did kind of like the Mad Hatter one. It wasn't too complicated, but I kind of liked it because it was just kind of cool to look at. Yeah, but they also did have
I thought the-
DLC, Most Wanted mission for Mad Hatter and Knight, which was fairly similar. So
Yeah, I liked the Dr. Pig
Professor Pig.
side mission. Professor Pig, sorry.
Excuse me.
That was
You're telling me you don't know Professor
excuse
Pig?
me. Hey, I read Nightwing.
He was in one of those.
That was a really creepy story. He made Bloodwing.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. That was very, very disturbing. But
He's a
it's
disturbing
a great
person.
story because it was like a cross. It was like just allowing Dick and Damien to hang out. So that's always good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best possible DC story these days. I mean, probably not even these days, actually.
Well,
'cause I just
until
realised
they made
what's even going on
Nightwing
with
forget,
Nightwing.
or is like old.
No,
something.
John is old. Nightwing's brain damaged. Damien's probably really annoyed that his two best friends have been just completely fucked over by editorial. Oh man, I didn't even think about how annoyed Damien would be by all this.
Oh boy, he's gonna
Damien
rant at the
will remember
Titans
that.
for this.
Damien's gonna
Damien
cut
will
open the
remember
pages
that.
with his sword and just stab everyone in the DC offices. You can't
Sounds
stop
like
me,
a
father.
Deadpool movie.
Yes. Damien is the new Deadpool.
Damien is really Gwenpool the whole time.
Gwenpool's a better version
Damien
of
murders
Deadpool.
the DC universe.
But that's just my opinion. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Just a Damien.
Does Damien
Damien
have the
does
same
He needs it.
moral compass as Batman or like the other Robins?
He doesn't.
I mean, I guess not.
He
Not Jason.
Batman's holding him to the no killing thing. I mean, he was raised by the League of Assassins, so obviously he has this natural inclination to kill people. But Batman's like, don't do that, and he's like, alrighty then. I guess if you, the
Fine.
Batman, say so.
Screw the
If you
rules.
think-
I have money.
That's essentially him. This whole fight that he had with Deathstroke, where he just pays Deathstroke, and Deathstroke's like, "Oh, alrighty then. I guess I'm off."
I guess my work here is done. Away.
Damien's a good character. I wish he was.
Oh
in
my God.
the Arkham
I
series,
just-
but I guess they couldn't have done that because they didn't introduce him early enough, and also Talia died.
Yeah, it wasn't Talia. She was probably pregnant with Damien.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's been a lot of theories that they're going to continue the series with a Damian Wayne sort of character, but I don't know.
Well, I don't think
What do you mean?
Rocksteady's doing the games anymore.
Oh.
Well, they're working on some
Yeah,
games.
no, they dropped that.
But I mean, WB Montreal.
Superman.
I mean, they're not working on Superman, is what they said. And I'm pretty sure WB Montreal is at least working on a DC game, and I think Rocksteady's probably still working on a DC game. It could be in Arkham continuity, but it may not be. I feel like WB Montreal might be working on an Arkham continuity one just because Warner Brothers is like, that was very successful, and Rocksteady's like, yeah, but we made all of the ones we wanted to make. And then they're like, okay, you guys made Arkham Origins, just do it again.
Remember how Arkham Origins
Just
had multiplayer?
re-released Arkham Origins.
The-
I
I
didn't think
like
that
the
was bad.
multiplayer in it.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I do as well.
Okay.
It's interesting.
It was
Because it's just like, you get to shoot Batman.
It was like
or
the
you get to
Splinter
take
Cell
out
stuff,
thugs.
you know? And you got to play as Batman and Robin and Bane and the Joker and some random other guys.
Henchman. That's pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. I only saw footage of it.
Doing those Predator missions in Batman with the thugs being actual players is a really interesting idea.
Yeah, especially because, like, of course, like, you would know how to play as Batman, so you'd know, like, the tactics. So it's even more interesting. So I've just taken a look at the stats for how many thugs we've all beaten up in Arkham Knight. Matt, you've beaten up 2,033. I've beaten up 3,113. Ben has beaten up 17,841.
What about Adam?
But
What?
Adam
Yeah, Adam's going to be way more.
has beat up 85,000.
85,000. That and Spider-Man. I wonder how many people he's beat up in Spider-Man.
I think I have more achievements in the game than him, though. I think he might have the...
Probably
I
wouldn't
don't think he has the
surprise
Killer Croc one in the Monarch Theatre.
me. Have you
I
got
don't.
the Killer Croc
There are
one?
3 achievements I don't have in the game. I have all of the ones in all the DLCs except for the last Fighter Pack update that they had. I'm missing 3 of those ones.
Hold on.
Does Adam have all the DLC?
I think so, yeah.
Interesting.
surprised.
Yeah, it'd be weird if he spends all his time playing that game but didn't even bother to get the extra content that they offered.
Yeah. Like, I feel just by playing it tons, he should get all the achievements. I'm curious why he hasn't.
There's also some stuff where you have to make the conscious choice to like switch the skin of your Batmobile on a race so that you'd be at a disadvantage and you don't even get to track your score or get extra like of those bat points, whatever they're called. So it doesn't make sense to do that outside of going for an achievement. So that's probably why. He's probably just not going for them.
Yeah. I saw a fantastic Batman-related meme today. Great visual humor for the podcast, but...
Link it in the
It was like-
the comment
yeah,
posting.
link dump.
Yeah, link dump.
It's Robin going, Batman, the Batmobile won't start. Cuts to Batman. Check the battery.
Oh, this is a repost.
Cuts back to
man.
Robin. What's a Terry?
This is an old meme, and it's.
Is that a repost?
I'll tell you why this is bad. Firstly, it's a repost. I'm so disappointed in you, Matt. Secondly, Nathan, what's wrong with
Hey,
what's wrong with them
Blink,
not knowing
Geek
what a
Strikes
bat
Back.
Terry is? You should know this, Nathan.
What's a Bat Terry?
Yeah, what is a bat Terry?
Oh, right. Sorry, I was looking at like Brooklyn Nine-Nine stuff, and I'd just seen Terry, so I was like, "What the hell is that? Is it like Terry Crews in a bat outfit?"
No, it's. I'm asking you to say it, but you didn't say anything.
Battery.
There we go. That's the
Got
one.
it.
I'll edit it out.
Okay, I
Got
don't
it.
know if you said it, but because you might have cut out, but
He said battery.
no, that's not what I wanted you to say. Batman Beyond.
wait,
Terry
what?
McGinnis. That's what a Bat Terry is.
Bat Terry. Oh, Batman Beyond. Right.
Yes, I thought you'd know that. It's so obvious. That's such a. It's an irresponsible name. They didn't think about it.
Okay.
When there's a legitimate answer for it, what's the point in making it in the first place? Everyone knows who Terry is, aside from Nathan, apparently. Who
I
thinks
know.
it's Terry
It's
Crews.
just
What
I
if
was thinking about fucking Terry Crews.
plays Terry McGinnis just because they're both called Terry?
Wow.
Isn't that ideal in casting in Hollywood? Is just to cast people with the same first name as the character?
Same name. That's why The Rock plays every rock in every movie.
You see him off in the background all the time. He's off playing a rock. He's the only one in Hollywood who's called The Rock, so you know who else are they going to cast?
Thank you, Master Yensid, for giving me the power to keep going.
Have you guys played Crackdown 3?
I have.
Any
I've
good?
got it downloaded.
It's alright.
Looks pretty fun.
It's not like the greatest game of all time. It feels a lot like the other Crackdown games, but it's still, fun. It's kind of... It's like, if you've played the other Crackdown games, you'll know it's kind of just the... spend some time going around collecting things, leveling up. It's not like...
Orbs.
It's fairly aimless. There is an aim to it, obviously, but you don't have to like go hard and pay any attention to what you're doing. It's a lot like Just Cause in that it's a lot about just destruction and messing around, having fun.
Being creative with destruction and stuff, yeah. That's why I think I'll enjoy it. I haven't actually played any of the previous Crackdown games, so I'm keen to get into this one, see what it's like.
I didn't play 2, but I played the first one. So, I mean, I can't necessarily say that it's a lot like the other ones because I haven't played 2. But it does feel a lot like the first one.
I think
which is like...
people have
11-year-old
compared it
game
a
now?
lot to 1.
Yeah, okay.
Because, I don't know, I don't think people like 2 particularly much. But they like 1, so I guess that's a good thing.
Terry Crews is in
I
this
mean,
one,
does
so
it feel like 1?
It definitely feels smoother.
Or is
Just
it
like-
like a similar
it feels-
game to 1? Because I was
feels
about to
very
say,
similar to 1, but it's obviously there's smoother controls.
people
and stuff.
say,
It's definitely been
it's
updated.
it's an 11-year-old game. But, like, I assume it wouldn't play like an 11-year-old game.
It's had a very long development cycle, and I don't necessarily think that's justified. But it's not like it's a terrible game. I feel like there's a lot of games
Yeah.
that I've been playing recently, like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15 and stuff like that, where they cop a lot of backlash from just having really long development cycles and then being like good games, or like, I mean, obviously I'd put some of them higher than others, and other people have as well, but just not being like the greatest game of all time, even though it's been in development for however long. Final Fantasy 15 was like 10 years or something, but that doesn't mean that it deserves more criticism than other games. I think the reason why you discuss games, you critique games as a critic, is not for expectation, but for the actual enjoyment that you'll get out of the game. That's...
I feel like that's been the trend of gaming journalism recently. It's all been based around like the hype. Hype is factored more into review scores than the actual games themselves. Like, I watched. There's NerdCube released a video about the Phantom Pain a while ago, and he didn't. Yeah, that had so much hype, and he thought it was like a solid 8, but it got like 97 or something, maybe like 96 on Metacritic, and
Well, that's not
he
too far off 8,
thinks
actually.
it's related to the hype.
8's a pretty high score.
But like you reserve but it's like people still think 8 out of 10 games are kind of bad.
That's bullshit.
In some
It's
cases,
really good.
like with Dishonored 2 specifically. People were like, it's pretty ordinary. Got 86.
Pre-ordering 8 out of 10. I mean, Crackdown's getting like 60, 70. I'd still say that's good. That's above 50%. So that's like a game that if you want, you know, it's not broken. It's not like you're going to be detrimented by playing that. I'd say a game that is not worth playing is something under 30, right? That's like something that's really just not strong in any way whatsoever. Between 30 to 50, it's like if you really want to, you can play it. It's not a broken game.
Be cautious.
It's not particularly entertaining.
But
anything above 50, obviously there's some variations in between it, but anything above 50 is definitely something that's like, you know, it's worth spending time with because there's enough for me to say thumbs up.
Jump Force. Critics didn't really like it, but it looks like a fun game. So I'll probably pick it up eventually. Just maybe not straight away. I feel like if a game gets, like the higher a game gets rated, the earlier I'll pick it up. That seems to be the way I buy games. I don't know.
Yeah, so I just looked it up, and so Kingdom Hearts 3 got like a 9 out of 10, an 8.7, and 84%. And
it's got a lot of really high scores as well.
Which I find odd, because...
But then everyone's saying
like,
it was disappointing and lowly scored.
Yeah, because I don't...
Like community-wise?
Community-wise, I guess. That's most of
it just, like, even I wouldn't give it a 9, because it has some pretty big flaws.
I'd say
I think they
8.5
could be
probably.
improved upon.
Which is high, because I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
I enjoyed my
think
time, but...
We're going to have to wait until we actually talk about the game for me to justify why I say 8.5. Because as I've been saying, I think that's a high score. And I've also been saying I think it has some problems. But
yeah.
I do have a lot to say about why I think I'd rate it high despite its problems.
I mean, it has an 8 out of 10 user score on Metacritic. So it's... Yeah.
I don't know. It just...
So it is, yeah.
I feel like gamers shouldn't only, like... I mean, people play shit games, like CSGO, for hours. But in terms of, like, single-player experiences, it seems like they have this expectation that anything below 90 is not worth their time. And so, like... games that like maybe critics didn't favorably review don't get a chance to actually shine as a community. Titanfall 2, even though it's getting a resurgence now, there are also other issues with its launch and stuff, but it got like an 86 or something, and so people didn't pick it up for that reason. People didn't pick it up because it came out the same time as Battlefield 1 and Infinite Warfare, and overall it tanked in sales. So it's like... And then frickin' Battle Royale Titanfall comes out and everyone's just like, woo!
I love Battle Royales now. It's true though, Apex Legends is actually fun, so...
It's so much fun. I got 2 champion thingies this evening. It's good.
You're playing it?
Feels good, man.
I haven't actually played it in a bit.
Yeah, playing it a bit.
We tried to play it yesterday, but it didn't work.
Yeah. Remember when we tried to play Bomberman R?
That didn't work either.
Yeah. That didn't work. Don't.
Bomberman R.
I know it's free with gold, 50%. But don't download. Don't. Please don't download that game.
Is it just like bad connection?
It's not worth it, even when it's free.
Bad connection. The multiplayer hasn't worked for us at all. I mean, actually, I played one game with Zach, so it did work one time. I crushed him, by the way, just for the record. I completely destroyed him. 5-0.
5-0.
Yeah, he didn't kill me one time. Just making sure everybody knows that I beat Zach in the one
for the
game
record
of Bomberman that we played.
Okay, stop flexing.
I didn't record any game clips or anything, but it's true. Zach's an honest person. He'd actually say, he'd say it. He'd go like, "Yep, I admit it. I lost."
It's $70 normally.
That is ridiculous.
Bomberman is $70.
It's not a very good Bomberman game.
What? How can they get Bomberman wrong?
Yeah, especially for $70.
There's a story mode, you know.
Wow.
I played the first 2 chapters of the story mode.
Wow.
So,
Any good?
No.
Oh,
I like the bit
no.
where Aqua was like, "Oh, now I'm angry," and then she killed the other people.
Hey, it's like in Birth by Sleep.
Mhm. She's like, "Oh, I'm angry," and then she kills Vanitas. That's what happens in that game.
Then she kills Break.
That doesn't happen. No one can kill Break.
Darkness. But why darkness?
Also, remember in the and he's
Also, by the way, we're spoiling this one.
oh whoops, I'll cut it out.
Wait, what were you saying?
You just stopped talking about the secret ending for Birth by Sleep.
Why is that an issue?
This is
What am I supposed
spoilers.
That's a spoiler for Birth by Sleep.
to- Oh. So?
Wait, so you
So
have an
when-
issue
because-
with
oh
me
my
spoiling whatever I spoiled before, but not with Birth by Sleep? Double standard,
Well, I
Nathan.
mean, the fact that...
I'm shaking my head
it's a
right
bit-
now.
Okay, that's good to know. I know that we're going to be doing a pretty in-depth discussion in the next couple of weeks, so I'm not that
I know.
concerned.
Let's save the spoilers till then.
Yeah, but rather than having to
Well.
tag every episode with this episode, we spoiled another Kingdom Hearts.
So I did it again.
Oops, all guns.
Big Bar has guns, and that's
Reloading.
Best character.
I'm reloading.
So what?
Take
let's
this.
just a little bit of a preview for Kingdom Hearts discussion. What do you think he says? Does he say reload or reload or reload or reload?
All of the above.
What's he saying?
Depends, hold on.
He says reloading in Birth by Sleep, but reload in 2, I think.
Hold on.
Can't just Google the answers, Nathan.
Yeah.
Now, let's see how you dance. Me? Oh yeah?
He didn't list.
Roxas!
Metal Gear.
You shouldn't have betrayed us. You're putting me to sleep, bucko. Okay, now we're talking. You clever little sneak.
Clever little sneak.
R for reload. He didn't say
Yeah,
it.
you didn't need to play that for me at least because I have that. I memorized. It's heavily ingrained in my brain. That and dance, water, dance. Those are- Ooh.
What
Spent a lot of time
about
with those
Sayax's battle where
No,
he
I
goes,
beat that
"By
easily."
moonlight.
I don't know
Yeah,
how.
he's pretty easy to spam. You just
Yeah.
take
But
out
I mean,
a
I
bunch
don't
of his
know
health
how-
at the start.
I got stuck on Zigbar for very long, and then everything after that I did without dying.
Well, Zigbar can be annoying if you don't know how properly counter him.
That made
The
me
only
itchy.
the thing that killed me every time was his ultimate sort of thing where he just spins around in the circle, like you're confined to a small area, and he just fires out just everything
Yeah, it
at
was a
you.
good fight though. Zigbar's the best. Clever little sneak.
You
Terror.
sly fox.
You sly fox.
He says that in Birth by Sleep, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you sly fox.
I think he says it again.
Got you now.
We
Do you guys
haven't-
have anything else you want to talk about in terms of Arkham and all that?
Yeah, we didn't talk about Arkham for a very long time.
So
Did we talk about Arkham we talked about Arkham for 20 minutes.
I reckon I'll listen back to it and go, oh yeah, we talked about it for a lot longer than I thought, but I feel like we didn't say much. I feel like I didn't
we
say much at
didn't
least.
really.
No, I mean, what's there to say? I mean,
So-
Raz.
Rage.
Raish. Fucking Christopher Nolan. Shut up.
Raz.
Raz.
Ra's al Ghul. Am I saying that right? You're Ra's al Ghul. You're
I'm-
not Ra's al Ghul. What?
I'm Raz Al Ghul, and I'm gonna dissolve all the water in Gotham.
I don't understand. Why did Wayne Enterprises have a machine that could do that anyway?
That
what
could
were you
vaporize
planning,
all
Bruce?
the water.
We got it
case
on the
somebody
train.
ever poisoned
The
the
only way
water
to
supply.
stop him is to blow up the train. I don't know why. I'm just gonna kill kill everyone. Oh wait, no, I won't kill him. I don't have to save him either. Batman kills him because that's what that is.
Wait,
it's not like
my love
you're not a
interest
fucking
is
genius
there.
for discovering a loophole in Batman's morals. The whole point of his character isn't just to I could just let him die. No, it's not like, oh, he doesn't kill people and that's the entirety of Batman's morals. It's like he doesn't want people to suffer unnecessary harm. He doesn't want innocents to be harmed in any way, and he doesn't want anyone to suffer unnecessary harm, as in I mean, I think he's
Torture
pretty shit
and stuff.
because he does beat people.
Remember when he
doesn't-
punched
he's not gonna
when he
kill.
beats up the Joker? He tortures
If
the
he can
Joker.
prevent death, he will. Like, it's fucking clear. It's not like he's just gonna go, fucking let him die. Because, you know, it's his own fault that I blew up the train that he was on. No! What? You blew up that train! You killed that man! That movie is so bad.
Remember when Talia was the bad guy?
That was in the third one.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, well, not a spoiler, because it's only at the end that she says, I'm Talia. What? I didn't see that. No, that was incredibly fucking obvious.
Remember when I put you in the hole I climbed out of? Good times.
Stupid. God.
Look at that little girl climbing out of the hole. Wow.
Why doesn't she speak with a Mexican accent? Why doesn't Bane speak with a Mexican accent?
How did Batman get back to
Cause
Gotham?
I'm Tom Hardy.
I don't speak at all. Theatricality and deception.
What a beautiful voice.
I can't tell, are you doing Bane or Tom Hardy in Dunkirk? Because it's exactly the same.
No, I'm doing Tom Hardy in Venom.
I'm a reporter.
I'm a reporter. Why are we wobsters?
Why can't he speak? I don't understand.
I mean, Legend.
I haven't seen Legend, so
There's two of him.
can one
Twice
of
the
them
Tom
not
Hardy.
speak? Or neither
One of
them.
them's mute.
Really?
No.
I believe you. That makes that movie better.
Okay, I believe you.
He's picking up on the memes. He's finally growing up.
He's up to dream job. It just has to understand Union Cross
Just-
after this.
Can I just freaking watch the mobile game? If it's like
Well,
constantly
But once you
updating?
see who the dandelions are, you'll shoot yourself in surprise.
I'm sorry, what?
You'll be
Ben.
The
like,
Dandelions?
but what?
Is it a
Ben.
Beck cover band?
Oh,
You
sure. No, just sure. Just sure.
don't know anything. You know nothing. Matt, you have to finish Final Fantasy 15 before you play Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh my days.
Wait, what?
No.
What did you say, Ben?
How many?
Uh,
This is the
Before
most.
you play Final Fantasy 15, you have to
JRPGs
play
I've
1
ever
through
played.
14, including 10-2, 13-2, and 13 Lightning Returns.
And the MMO.
And Tactics. And the second Tactics.
And
I forget
Crystal
what- Tactics
Chronicles.
Advance, I think it's. And Crystal Chronicles.
And the last ring or whatever the DS game was.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what that one's called, but yes.
That's the only Final Fantasy game I've played besides 15.
And of course, you need to watch the anime, the movie, the novella.
I've watched the anime.
You
I
need to
haven't
make
watched
sure
the
you
movie.
play all the DLCs.
I've got all the DLCs. So that's...
So I legitimately think that the only way to fully enjoy 15 is to, because I did it over the past day, watch the movie, watch the
Still-
anime. What?
You still haven't finished it though. Like how you said, the only way to fully enjoy it
I've
is, and
I've
this is what I did
finished
over the
it
last
all.
day, not play the ending.
Well,
Wait,
it
haven't you
turns out-
finished it?
Turns out I'm like 10 minutes away from the ending.
Yeah, you said you were in chapter
Really?
14, so that's the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they updated the ending, didn't they?
Yeah,
Not really.
sort of.
I looked it up. They removed a tier.
Yeah, then play all the DLC, then watch the newest episode of the anime, which came out like a month ago. And then once you're done all of that, you can finish the game. And it's pretty good.
There is there is a book coming out soon that is going to have the stories of the three of the DLCs that were cancelled, including an alternate ending. Which if we ever do an episode talking about Final Fantasy 15, I'll give my stronger opinions on it. But yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff.
No.
Reload.
And yeah, all this is actually very important for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Because Nomura.
Yeah.
And also the trailer for Versus
totally
13,
irrelevant.
which was an unreleased game, but you do need to watch that in order to fully understand what's going on.
Oh, and I would also pay attention to the characters from Traverse Down in 3D, just as a tip.
There's
not
people
you
from
should
The
play
World
that
Ends With
game.
You, right?
You should play The World Ends With You, because, that's another Square Enix game. You should play Hitman all of Season 1. You still haven't finished Season 1, I don't think.
No.
That was a Square Enix
I should play all of Season... All
Yeah,
of
that'll be
Hitman 2,
that'll be
all the
included.
Tomb Raider
All
games, all the
three of
Just
the Tomb Raider
Cause games.
Just Cause,
all
yes.
four of the
all
Just
of the
Cause.
published ones, all of the games they published, in addition to ones that they don't. So,
Wait,
also Dragon Quest, get through all those.
Dragon Quest, all those. Got it.
This is all very
I'm writing
important.
those all down.
You never know, Matt. You
This is
never
for
know
Kingdom
what is
Hearts
very
3.
important. Make
I'm
you've
never
seen
gonna
every
finish
Disney
Kingdom
movie
Hearts
ever,
3.
including $1 Million Arm with John Hamm, especially $1 Million Arm with John Hamm. That is the most important. I cannot stress enough how important John Hamm's $1 Million Arm will be to the story of Sora and Riku. Specifically, Demix. He comes into play when John Hamm comes on screen. You'll be like, I understand now because I know the story of $1 Million Arm.
Is it even a Disney movie?
I'm pretty sure it is. I hope it is, because otherwise that wouldn't have made any sense.
It's a
And you need
biological.
to know the entire plot of Ratatouille.
It's a biographical
That's very
sports
useful.
drama. Produced by Walt Disney Pictures.
And
a good
then
one.
you need to watch the Marvels,
Mighty Ducks?
In the Marvel
Mighty
movie
Ducks.
that's
I
in
need to
Phineas and
watch-
Ferb. And then
Oh,
you need to
yeah.
watch High School Musical 3.
You do need to watch all the High School Musicals. That is actually important.
I need to
that
watch
special.
all
I don't want to spoil
105
anything,
days of
but
Phineas
there is a
and
cameo
Ferb.
from a certain High School Musical character whose first name starts
Troy?
with Mrs.
Gotcha.
and last name begins with D. She is pretty good. She may have been naughted, and she might be a Keyblade wielder.
Is she actually?
What the fuck are you on about? Like, Ben, you can't just spout that shit and not expect to be, like, called out.
Well, Mrs. Darvis has been naughted. I'm not lying.
Of course you are.
along with along with Coach Jackson.
Coach Bolton. No, he's Yensid's newest recruit because they have this whole rivalry going on.
God, Jens, it's the worst in Dream Drop.
But you
All
lose
of
all
Dream
your
Drop is
powers.
Jensen's.
Fuck you.
All of Dream Drop is just Jens' its stream of consciousness.
It's just like, now go to this random place that doesn't
Oh,
really
no, it's his-
exist or matter in any way.
It's Jens' its Kingdom Hearts fanfiction. What if
What if
Sora
it's-
and Riku met the characters from The World Ends With You?
What if it was
Well-
just like... What if it was his hidden dream to just be like, I want to stand up sometimes and go to Worlds? So,
Unfortunately, I lost my legs in the war.
Did you know my Disney? Did you know my name spelled backwards is Disney?
Do you think that Yensid was alive in the Keyblade War?
No,
The timeline doesn't make any sense.
he's
but
a
then
child.
it never did.
But then again, I know some things about the Keyblade War. Donald and Goofy are in the mobile game.
Why
They're just
don't they
there.
remember anything?
Oh, they
Yeah,
remember. They just don't give a shit.
the world before. It doesn't make any sense. Why are they there?
Like Hercules,
Anyway,
they are the.
You gotta finish the game so that this can actually be relevant to the podcast rather than just talking about it.
So basically, the Kingdom Hearts episode is going to be a 24-hour podcast marathon of me going through and talking about how the frick $1 Million Arm is linked to the Kingdom Hearts universe.
Such a good movie.
When you watch it, you'll know.
Oh, you'll know. Oh, can't wait till you get to that secret ending.
Oh. It's just John Hamm throwing a baseball.
Nathan, you know that one character? Secretly John Hamm.
Oh,
you didn't see that one coming.
Yes, of course. May or may not be looking up who the hell John Hamm is.
Are you serious?
Do you don't know who John Hamm is?
Oh, that guy.
I mean,
John
I will
Hamm is
watch any
very-
John Hamm property. So
Yeah.
I'll probably watch $1 Million Arm at some point.
You should.
Is it actually a good movie?
I don't remember.
Ah, dear. Okay, thank you very much for listening, everyone. And, hopefully I can make something out of this episode. Yeah.
I
Grilling
won't say anything
time.
until you guys play any. Because it's sort of a bit of
Oh my
both.
goodness. Just end it already. Stop talking.
Okay,
You guys asked
thank
a
you,
question.
everyone. Damn it. Shut up! Thank you.
What?
Thank you. Please stop. Stop the podcast. No, don't stop yet. One sec. Don't.
Why?
Thank you,
Our
everyone, for
sponsor
listening.
This time, Jensen.
We're sponsored by Squarespace.
What?
We had very
Sponsored by Jensen.
sponsors. Master Jensen.
Get Jensen legs.
His name backwards is